What is going on, guys? Austin here, aka your crypto siphon, coming at you with another episode. I know. It's been a while. I'm sorry, guys. I've been MIA. Life has been crazy. I just haven't had a lot of time to make videos, and I also took a bit of a break from trading since we've had this small downtrend started. I know we saw that coming if you've been following me on my Twitter. But anyways, I want to talk about what can we expect for the rest of the week. What's the market going to look like heading on to the weekend? And there's also some pretty good news coming out recently. I want to talk about that. So some exciting things to talk about. If you guys are interested in hearing more, stay tuned.
They'll understand you soon, it won't be long. Keep on, keep running.
All right, let's not waste any time, guys. Let's get right into the charts. So what are we doing this week? Where's the Bitcoin market headed? It's looking like we're going to drop into hell. Game over. Sell everything. Oh, God. Okay, so seriously. We've had a bit of a downtrend, as most of you guys know. For those of you who are following me on my Twitter, we saw this coming. If you're not following me, I encourage you to do so. I post regular updates on there just about every day. Real-time updates, that is. Anyways, so we made our recent high at about roughly 8,500. And ever since then, we've been on a steady downtrend. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, you're saying, oh my God, this is it. We're going right back into the bear market. What the hell's going on? It's tired of this crap. When's it going to end? And, you know, I'm sure pretty much everybody feels the same way. However, I'm not fully convinced that's the case, guys. Yeah, we do definitely have some signs that are pointing to it's very possible we could go down further down. Do I think that we're going to break this next major support in the next day or two? It's possible. Is it likely? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's not likely. I think that if we are to break the 6.8K major support, it's going to take a little more than what we have so far. And I just haven't seen the momentum in order to do that. Now, don't get me wrong, we've definitely been in a pretty decent sustained downtrend, but we also had a really good rally as well, up to 8,500. I mean, don't forget, guys, don't forget, we were all the way down just a couple of weeks ago, or even actually almost exactly like a month ago. It's been almost exactly, what is that? Is it a month? A little over a month ago. We were, you know, down at 5,800, guys, below 5,800, even like 5,775. And we've been on a sustained uptrend for a while now. We even had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 daily green candles. That is huge, guys. When the heck is the last time that's happened? So just kind of put things in perspective, kind of, you know, pull back a little bit and just look of how much progress we've made over the last, you know, couple of weeks. And in my opinion, this pullback we're having right now, it's not surprising in any way. I definitely saw it coming, just like many others. Do I think we're going to continue? Like I said, I'm not fully convinced of that right now. So there's a few ways, to look at the way that we made an uptrend. We came down, obviously hit our bottom at, you know, a little above or a little under 5,800, and now we have some impulse waves up. Now there's multiple counts for these waves. If you guys are looking at some different forecasters and analysts or whatever, you're going to see that, you know, everybody's kind of looking at things a little differently. However, no matter how you look at it right now, we've all been basically thinking that, yes, we're going to get a pretty decent correction. So this is not a surprise. But initially, this is how I was looking at it. I was looking at our 5 impulse waves up, our Elliott wave pattern. We had our first wave up, had a nice decent correction, probably like a 90% correction or so. Then we had a very, very nice wave 3 up. Had a very small correction, which makes sense because our, you know, number 2, our second wave was very deep. So our fourth wave is naturally going to be a lot more shallow. And then we made our final push up towards 8,500. And now the way I've seen things for a while now is that we're getting our ABC correction. which is to be expected. And as you guys can see, ABC, we come down here to our major support right here. This blue line is our 50-day moving average, which just so happens to coincide with two things: the 61.8 retracement mark, also our aka golden pocket zone, and then also our 6,800 major support that, if you guys remember, we had one hell of a time breaking this support, or excuse me, resistance it was previously. In order for us to break it, we had to form a decent head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern, which I was talking about for a while, and it finally played out, which was awesome. But anyways, this zone here is a very, very strong zone. And I mean, look, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's extremely unlikely or never going to happen that we're going to break this support zone, guys. I'm not saying that. However, right now, I just don't see that happening. It could, and I could be totally wrong, and I'm completely fine with that. You know, trading is not necessarily about being right or wrong all the time. It's about managing your money properly, but I just don't see us breaking this right now. Now, I will say this. If we go on this view here, we do have what I would call a ascending broadening wedge, which is typically bearish, in my opinion. Some people might say yes or no to that, but yeah, this could be seen as some sort of, or even like a bear flag. Some people might see this as a bit of a bear flag, and we might see another leg down, like this, right? Or I could have just done this. Okay, right. Okay, and we might see another leg down, which would bring us down to about 6,500. Is that likely, or is that probable? Yeah, it could happen, guys. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not saying, like I said before, that it's impossible. We're going to see another leg down. However, I do see some hidden bullish divergence on the RSI and on our stochastic RSI as well. I do see some decent signs that we could be looking, to make our way up. So I don't know why that's like that. Okay, not what you want. So looking at the RSI, guys, this is the 4-hour RSI, and it's actually gone over even higher than that, but this one's nicely visible. We see a nice looking bullish divergence on the RSI that we're continually making higher lows. Okay, so that's one sign that I take note of, that we potentially might have exhausted the bears and I'll be looking to make a decent reversal from here on out. That's the first sign that I'm looking at. The second sign is that, well, not looking at this chart, but if we look at our daily chart, we let me see if I can pull it up real quick. On the daily chart, guys, we have, we are basically, if you look at the stochastic RSI, we're very oversold, guys. Once again, we might see one more leg down if this bear flag is legit, or however you want to call it, broadening or ascending broadening wedge. Yeah, we could see a slight flag down, possibly a little bit more. If that did happen, if that was the case, I wouldn't see us going any further down than like 6,500. That would be our next pretty good line of defense. But I really personally think that this is going to hold for us, guys. And if it does, okay, if you guys got to take all this into consideration, if this count is correct, and there's, like I said, there's multiple ways to look at this count, but however you want to look at it, if this count is correct and we do make a reversal off of our 6,800 price point, our 61.8 retracement mark, and our bullish divergence on the RSI, those are very good signals. And I do see us making a decent rally from here. Whether that's going to be another 5 impulse waves up, bringing us up out of, you know, this downtrend we've been in for quite some time, maybe testing our previous highs around 10,000, that would be great. I can't say that for sure right now, but we need to take things a day at a time. But I do think that if this does hold, we do make a nice little reversal, it could propel us to our next higher highs. So we may get a decent push above 8,500, possibly to about 9,000 or so before we see in our next correction. Maybe even a little higher than that, guys. Now I will go over the count. Some people are saying that they're looking at the count as if it's more like this, 1, 2, and they're saying this is all of an extended wave 3. And the way that they're getting that is, I'll show you right here. They take this like that, and they're looking at this as being a pretty decent extension off of the first wave. It's actually higher than 161. It would be 200, but this is just, it's not really the count that I'm looking at, but it's a way of looking at it. Anyways, they're saying this is our third wave. Now we're getting our fourth wave, which, if you know the way Elliott wave impulse waves work, wave 4 should not retrace into wave 1 territory by more than a wick. And if we do hold right here, guys, then that would validate that count. So then we would be looking at making a decent push up, right, to something between 9,200 to something maybe around 10,000 or so. And that's if that count is correct. I'm not saying it is, but that's if you're looking at that Elliott wave count. The Elliott wave count I'm looking at, that I initially thought of was we have 5 impulse waves going up here. Now we're getting a bit of an ABC correction down to our support and maybe making another 5 waves up. Either way you look at it, that situation or that count is very bullish, and we will see some upside if that is validated and if that is the count that we're looking at. However, some people are saying that no, that this is a continuation of our downtrend. And I'm going to go over that as well. If we look at our falling wedge, which we've been talking about for God knows how long. Now I adjusted my lines a little bit. There's 2 ways to look at these lines. I adjusted them slightly for the bearish scenario. And for the bearish scenario, guys, if this is how things are playing out, we came up to the top of our trend line. We never actually broke it. And if you notice, this is our 200-day moving average. We basically barely touched it and then got rejected from that. And now we're holding support on our 50-day moving average. On the bearish scenario, guys, then what would be the case is that we continue downward, and if we were to break this support, we would be looking at falling towards the bottom of this wedge. Now, I'm not a bear. I don't really have a bearish outlook on this market. I have nothing but a bullish outlook on this market in the long term. Short term or medium term, can there be bear trends and bearish sentiment in the market? Yeah, absolutely. I'm not calling that out of question. I definitely think it's a possibility to continue that. But what we have to notice here is if we did come to the bottom of this falling wedge, we have major support in this area, guys. So if we did come down here, what I would be looking at, if, and I say if we did, guys, then, and this is all contingent, even if we do break below 6,800, guys, I'm not saying that we're going to go all the way down to the bottom of this other trend line here. That's not necessarily the case. We honestly, in my opinion, in order for us to really validate a re-entry into our bearish trend, so, quote unquote, then, or even just bearish scenario in this falling wedge or bearish pattern in this falling wedge, we would have to break 6,000. I mean, even if we got down to 6,250 or something like that, 6,200, and we made our way back up, I don't really see that as a bad thing. I see that as very bullish. I see that as us testing our previous supports, and we tested it once again. We get rejected. We have the bulls come in. They make a very big push up, and we continue our uptrend. So unless we break 6,000, guys, I'm really not seeing much of a bearish scenario going on here. I'm still seeing more of a bullish momentum in this market. I definitely think the trend has changed overall. If you look at things, for instance, let's look at our RSI and the daily trend. This is our previous bottoms that we had here. We saw the bullish divergence. We went up. Same here. This is our last one. This is the one before, and this is the one before, right? However, if you notice, what we had to get over was the 40 mark on the RSI, and that was giving us a lot of resistance. So even here, when we pushed back up and we got rejected, we needed to push above this 40 mark on the RSI, and once we did, it blasted us up, and we continued our uptrend. But I really think that this current trend that we're in right now, I see things shifting a lot. And I'm saying that because before we've seen a lot of falling or descending, however you want to call it, declining volume in the market. And now I see things a little differently. Yeah, we were initially, we had the volume declining like this, okay? But now I feel like things have more or less changed. I don't know why it's doing that to me. I feel like things have more or less changed. I see that the volume now is more following the price action very closely, which to me is more of a bullish indicator that the trend has slightly changed and that we're looking to start a new cycle in the market. So even if we do see some downside action like we're looking at right now, guys, that's not necessarily a bad thing. So like I said, just to reiterate, I don't want to repeat myself too many times, unless we break 6,000, guys, I'm not looking at much of a bearish scenario. So 1,600 is our major support. We have support all through here through our inverse head and shoulders. We have support from our previous bottom and also the bottom before that, and when we had in February, and also the one we had in April, May. We have, this is a major support zone, and that's why I just don't see us breaking it right now. Even if we did, we may just come down and make a higher low and continue upward, guys. Okay, so in the worst of the worst case scenario in my head, the way that I see things, if we completely broke this major support, we broke 6,000, I'm just giving this to you guys for food for thought. I don't see us really getting much below 5,500 to 5,000. And in my mind, that's not even something I'm thinking about. For now, the way I see it and the way that I'm trading this right now, guys, we've come up here, we've broke this major resistance, now it's served as support. We're coming down, we're testing that support, which is very common. That support is also lining up with our 61.8 retrace mark. It's lining up with our 50-day moving average, okay? And we can also see we have a lot more volume entering the market, a lot more bullish sentiment and news coming in the market, guys. There's just so much that I see that could propel us forward and have higher price action to come. All right, guys, that's just the way I'm looking at this. So I think that we're probably going to make a nice reversal off of this 61.8 retrace mark. If things change, I'll update you guys on my Twitter. If you're not following my Twitter, I definitely will say you should encourage you to do so. One other thing I wanted to go over just kind of goes along with what I'm saying. The news, guys, the news is so bullish right now. Every single freaking day, it's like we have more news about adoption coming into the crypto space, whether it's from Coinbase or Amazon or we had talks about Starbucks and Microsoft, and now we got Robinhood's opening up trading for Ethereum Classic, and Bitmain's getting new crypto mining facilities in Texas. This one was really cool. I wanted to talk about. Goldman Sachs is reportedly weighing a crypto custody service. So having launched Bitcoin futures trading in May, Goldman Sachs is now pondering the launch of a cryptocurrency custody service, according to Bloomberg. So just like Coinbase announced that they're going to be doing a crypto custody service, what that is basically storing people's cryptocurrency for them in a secure fashion, where if they were to get hacked, they would have the security of knowing that their crypto is safe. That's essentially what this article is saying, guys. And to me, that's also very bullish news, because that could mean, just like the article says, the sources indicate that the service could eventually help Goldman Sachs open up other crypto-focused services, such as a brokerage. Guys, there is so much bullish news coming out all the time. I just, the adoption is there. If we were to start a new bull cycle, there is so much more opportunity and so many more avenues that the average retail investor can get involved in Bitcoin, that if we do have a decent bull run this next time, it will be a lot better and bigger of a bull run. So I just see a lot more upside potential. I'm not going to say that the bearish scenario is out of the question. I will always review that. But for now, I just see more signs of bullishness in the market than I do of bearishness. And that's just my opinion, guys. It's not financial advice. I put it down in my description in the video. I always do. I'll always tell you, don't blindly follow what I'm saying. Do your own research, guys. Figure out, where you want to position yourself in the market. Have a plan with where you want to enter and exit the market. Speaking of that, one thing I will say right now, where we are at, I will say this. This is not a trading zone for people who are new to this market. These are just in general to trading. This is not a trading zone, guys. This is absolutely a no trading zone. This is where you will get wrecked if you start trying to trade in this zone. And that is what it's made for. All these bots that are trading and all these large hedge funds and whales and whatnot, they're there to eat your leverage. They know you guys are on BitMEX trading at 50 times leverage, which is the worst thing you could possibly do, but people do it. So my advice right now, if anything, is to just stay out of the market right here. I would wait for the market to decide where it's going, whether it's going to be bullish or bearish, and then, you guys can start doing whatever it is you had in mind. Okay, guys? So until next time, I'm going to post regular updates on my Twitter about what's going on, and anything else new comes out. If we see any kind of big breakouts, I'll try and make a video and post up on my Twitter. And until next time, guys, see you soon. I hope to see you in the next video.